The no asshole rule confirms what most of us already know, that our work environments are plagued with assholes. Stanford professor and author Bob Sutton joins us today to let us know how to spot an asshole and what we can do to make our offices asshole-free.
Here are some facts about workplace assholes. First of all, it turns out that 1 out of 2 Americans have worked for an abusive boss. And the problem is much worse in some occupations, especially in nursing, where up to 90% of nurses report receiving weekly abuse. Fact 2, it turns out assholes can be incredibly expensive for organizations. One of the Silicon Valley firms I worked with calculated the cost of one asshole for 1 year, an abusive salesperson named Ethan, and when they calculated all the secretaries he ran through and other expenses, it was $160,000. In fact 3, the reason I wrote a book on assholes is because nasty interactions pat 5 times the wallop of nice interactions. One of the most fun things that we've done with the no asshole rule is to construct a 24-item true-false test that you can take to determine if you're a certified asshole, a borderline asshole, or not an asshole at all. And in fact, we put this on Guy Kawasaki's blog, and over 100,000 people have completed it online. To give you an example of some of the items in the test, first, you were a nice person until you started working with the current bunch of creeps. Another, you take credit for the accomplishments of your team, and why not? They would be nowhere without you. Next, you constantly interrupt people because, after all, what you have to say is more important than them. Also, your jokes and teasing can get a bit nasty at times, but you have to admit it, they're pretty funny. And my favorite one, people seem to stop having fun when you show up. Let me tell you how we score the 24 items on the asshole rating self-exam. If you got 0 to 5, that's a sign that you're not an asshole at all, and perhaps you don't need the book, and certainly you'd be a civilized person to work with. If you scored 5 to 15, that's a sign that you're kind of a borderline asshole, and there are some things that you probably need help with. If you scored over 15, that's a sign to me that you're a certified asshole and you really could use some help. But don't come to me for it, because I already have enough assholes in my life and I would prefer not to meet you. So let's talk about what you can do if you're a leader or a manager and you want to implement the no asshole rule yourself. The first thing you've got to remember is that assholes breed like rabbits. So that means that what you want to do is to keep the assholes out of the hiring process and have as many civilized people involved as possible. Number 2, all firms make hiring mistakes. When you make a mistake, you want to get rid of those assholes as quickly as possible. At Southwest Airlines, that's why they say we hire and fire on attitude. Number 3, in organizations that are serious about the no asshole rule, being an asshole is just treated as another form of incompetence. Number 4, there's an enormous amount of evidence that if you just give people a little power, they turn into insensitive jerks. So you've got to watch yourself and watch others when they get in positions of power. Number 5, it's inevitable in organizations that there's power differences between, say, the CEO and people lower down in the organization. You can't get rid of the chain of command, but but organizations that have fewer assholes do things to de-emphasize status differences. For example, not having private parking spaces and the like. Number 6, it's very important not just to have a general set of rules, but to manage the little moments, the little things that happen where the no asshole rule and other social norms live and die. So that means, just as a little example, to make it safe for the people in your work group to let you know if you're the boss when you've been a jerk. Number 7, I'm not arguing that the no asshole rule is an argument for having a bunch of wimps. What you want to do is teach people how to fight constructively, which is exactly what they do at Intel, by the way. They give all employees classes in constructive confrontation. Number 8, as ironically as it may seem, there are times when it's better to have one asshole rather than none, because if you've got an asshole, they show everybody else how not to behave so everybody understands the wrong behavior. Number 9, and this is very important, you need to find ways to link the big policies to the small decencies. So it's great to espouse the no asshole rule, but if you as a leader don't behave in the proper way and treat people with respect and apologize when you blow it, the no asshole rule will never live in your organization. And finally, in some of the most effective organizations I know, they write down the rule and are explicit about it. For example, at Google, they have the don't be evil policy. And another sort of crazy Australian organization, there's an organization called ARP, which among other things designed the Sydney Opera House. They have the no dickhead rule, and it's an integral part of how they're starting to do business. In addition to saving your organization money and helping you attract better employees, there's a new reason why you might want to implement the no asshole rule in your organization. The lawyers will get you. It turns out that a lot of states are considering anti-bullying legislation, which will mean if you allow them to flourish in your organization, you may face some serious fines. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I hope you'll enjoy reading the no asshole rule, and I especially hope that you find the ideas useful for running the jerks out of your organization.